Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Baldur's Gate 3 impressions. I'm your host today, Alec Bobko. I'm joined by Rumblepack92.
Yo!
And a very special guest making his first podcast appearance here on Shared Screens, Reaper's Past. How you doing today?
Hi. Howdy. I'm all right. I literally stopped playing Baldur's Gate 3 so I could be here.
Is this the first time you've recorded with us?
Mm-hmm.
What the?
For a podcast, he was on the SmackDown.
I remember SmackDown. I mean, yeah.
That's why I said first.
I
podcast
remember
appearance.
SmackDown. Yeah. That's wild. Also, yeah, I feel you. And it's like, hey, if we weren't recording this, I'd be playing Baldur's Gate right now. Right now, I'd be playing it.
Pry myself away from it. It's like, hey, I'm playing with a friend. It's like a 2-person run. It's like, hey, man, like I know we just almost died, but I gotta go.
I know. So I'm jumping the run a show a bit just because I want to know how many hours do you have in it?
Let me see. Well, okay. I have put. Take a guess. Put a number out there.
Okay. Well, Al, how many do you have? You told me a second ago.
I have 13 hours,
which is respectable. Came out a week ago. Like a week
Thursday.
ago now? Thursday? Yeah, almost a week ago. I have 30 hours.
Okay.
Now, Reaper, I was about to say, you're a streamer.
50.
So you've got like 70-ish hours or so, I would say.
I was 72.
The
The amount of times... So here's the thing. The amount of times that I have restarted this game because people want to play, I'm like, okay, here's another character. Here's another character. Here's another character. Oh, early access, you have to delete everything? Okay, sure. Delete everything. Okay, now what? Okay.
I do also want to point out my 30 hours, not all post-release. You guys were there when I tried early access that one time, and it didn't work. And I was like, cool, I'm waiting until this game is out. And so I did.
Before we get too deep into the discussion, just I guess for people who don't know, Baldur's Gate 3, since the last one came out like 20 years ago. Baldur's Gate, it's pretty much D&D but a digital version. It's
literally video game D&D.
Yeah, and
like it runs on 5th edition, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, yeah, it's D&D.
Yeah, but like the base 5th edition, I won't get until.
I know. I was so mad when I made a rogue and I saw that Swashbuckler wasn't a wasn't a subclass. I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, there goes my Han Solo character.
Kind of the first. I mean, if you're looking to get into D&D but don't have a group to get into, like give Baldur's Gate 3 a try.
It's the way to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I guess getting started into this, I'll say this is an impressions, not a review, just because the game is very long.
I think it's like 90 to 100 hours for a full playthrough or something. One.
Didn't they say? I think it came out. Isn't there like over 100 hours of like cutscenes or something like that?
Something like that.
Probably.
I think that counts though too. There's a lot of like branching paths for each like
exactly
quest and that sort of thing. But it's like it's my understanding anywhere between like 80 to 100 hours for a normal playthrough for one.
Yeah,
it's a one campaign. Yes. So no, we have not finished this. No one here has finished this game yet.
Nope.
No, I don't want to get into spoilers.
No one is even close to finish. Well, I guess Reaper's a little close, but not close.
That's total gameplay time, not necessarily the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we get started in the game, I just real quick, I guess prior experience with D&D and any prior Baldur's Gate games. I guess Reaper, let's start with you.
Okay, so Baldur's Gate, not really. Only the early access stuff before the game came out like 3 years ago now, which is crazy. I also, for D&D, I started listening to D&D like playcasts with like High Rollers Heroes, Just Roll With It, Critical Role, all that stuff. And then I eventually started playing D&D. I've had multiple failed campaigns because scheduling, if you know, it's always a thing that happens.
The killer of all great D&D campaigns.
Adult
life.
I've made multiple characters throughout these past 5 or so years since I started getting into it. I'm kind of well versed in a lot of things player wise, not DM wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like I put a lot of time into it, and it's just oh, I know a lot of stuff and a lot of builds and a lot of just mid-maxing. I need to stop.
And Chris, how about you?
So as far as prior experience with D&D goes, most of my experience comes from my buddy Sam, who some of our viewers, aka Dibs. Some of y'all might know his name. He's
out in the Discord a bit.
Has DM'd a few campaigns that I've been in. I've been in 2 of his campaigns. He does a lot of like one shots and stuff that we did primarily over like Zoom during lockdown, right? Particularly I played a lot of the Star Wars tabletop RPG as well, which is not Dungeons and Dragons, but I just wanted to throw that in there. And I've played in a few campaigns, and just in the last like year or so, I had to like kind of sit down and tell myself, I was like, you know what, tabletop D&D not really for me. I like the idea of it, and I think it's very cool. And like I've enjoyed a few of the campaigns I've been in, but I think just the actual like moment to moment gameplay of it is just kind of not for me. I don't dislike it or anything. It's just not really my thing. My wife's a big fan though. She's in like 3 different campaigns right at the moment. Who's been playing a lot.
Lucky.
My experience with Baldur's Gate specifically though is really cool because my when this game came out, like I took a picture of like my character screen. I sent it to my dad. I was like, hey, do you remember Baldur's Gate? And he goes, yeah, me and your uncle lost so many hours to that game. My dad played the original Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2.
Damn.
And when I got my first computer as a teenager, you know, big like CRT monitor, right? Yeah. Like
Windows
big,
like 98.
Thing. So we still had Baldur's Gate on disc, and I like reinstalled it. I played a little bit of Baldur's Gate 2, and then when I got my first laptop after I graduated high school, I grabbed my dad. My dad had a copy of Neverwinter Nights, which was a sort of like a semi follow up to Baldur's Gate. It was another BioWare Dungeons and Dragons game. It didn't take place in Baldur's Gate, but I mean, it was same game, basically same idea. So coming to this, like, yeah, I was ready. Like I played Baldur's Gate. I played the shit out of Neverwinter Nights. And so I've played a lot of digital D&D, which I think. So
you've had like a base for it, which is
cool. I came in knowing what I was going to do, especially having played a bunch of 5th edition in the last couple of years with my friends too. So I was like, I knew what Baldur's Gate was and how I was going to play, especially because like that was kind of what BioWare made for a while, was games like Baldur's Gate. Like people that haven't played it don't realize that Knights of the Old Republic is Baldur's Gate but Star Wars. Like that's what it is. Like if you like this game, you would like Knights of the Old Republic. Granted, it's 3rd edition. It came out in 2000.
Right. But that remake, though,
not happening. Not convinced that's happening. But yeah, I knew what this was going to be. I was really excited about it because Baldur's Gate specifically, I didn't play too much of, but Neverwinter Nights I played the hell out of.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess quick in terms for me. I mean, people have stuck with the channel for a bit. Talked about it on a Shared Screens podcast a while back about my first time playing D&D, which is actually just this year. Started that campaign with Bo, and we've been in like a lot of us, just being adults and having a lot of stuff to do. We haven't played in like a month or so. Yeah. And that's when this game I remember like, oh wait, this game's coming out beginning of August. And
yeah.
Oh, I actually have this game. So I'm like, oh, this is like the perfect time. And
which thank you boys for that, by the way.
Yeah, of course, man.
So some more backstory. Reaper hit us up like 3 years ago and was like, hey, come play Baldur's Gate with me. I went, eh. And Reaper bought Alec a copy, and then Alec bought me a copy. And then we all tried to play it on stream together once, and it didn't work. And I don't think any of us did. And I didn't touch it for 3 more years.
And it wasn't optimized or nothing.
No, it was real bad. We played it like days after it had come out in early access, and we tried to run a multiplayer campaign, and it was rough.
It was awful.
But it was really nice because that conversation that Alec was talking about happened, and they were like, hey, this game comes out soon. And I was like, oh, shit, I own this game.
Yep. That's literally both of us. Like, I think we were just in a Discord call. It's like, oh, wait.
It was completely off my radar until like a month ago.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I feel like that was a lot of people, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, once you saw... Okay, so once they dropped that trailer for... how do I put this?
The bear.
the bear.
That was the one.
Basically,
Yeah, they had their
yeah.
big showcase, right?
You know, that told. I feel like that told a lot of people. It's like, hey, so this is what you expect from the game. Like, we take it serious, but not super serious.
Yeah.
Go have fun.
Yeah.
And for me, it was actually listening to P.S. I Love You because they had the episode fairly recently where they said, is Baldur's Gate 3 PlayStation Starfield? And they basically went and kind of deep dive into Baldur's Gate 3 and like really talked in depth about it. And it's like, that's what for me really got me like really interested into this. And because I didn't, I never have played Baldur's Gate before this. I never really even heard of it. So because I wasn't much of a PC player before then.
Did you ever play like those tactical RPGs like Dragon Age or anything, or no?
Yeah,
Dragon Age, Divinity.
No, okay, yeah. I feel like a lot of people that haven't had those games in a while because Dragon Age, people are convinced it's going to come out. It's not going to come out. No. This is their time again because like you create your own character. You already have like an ensemble like that comes in with it and all that stuff, and everyone has their own backstory and all that stuff.
It is very much kind of its own genre. Like people refer to these as CRPGs, which literally just means computer RPGs. Baldur's Gate in particular is a title with such legacy there because it was one of the first, and Baldur's Gate is also, a lot of people don't realize, is what put BioWare on the map. Like before Knights of the Old Republic, before Mass Effect, like this is what BioWare did. Was make Dungeons and Dragons video games. And what's cool about this is that it's made by Larian Studios. It's not a BioWare game. Larian makes the Divinity series, which itself was already like highly lauded for being extremely similar to the Baldur's Gate games. So when they managed to get the license, everyone was like, "Oh shit, this is going to be really good." And they were right. But I mean, for a lot of people that have kind of been waiting for this, or I have just judging by the Steam numbers, there's a lot of new people coming into this. Like it is an unabashedly old school RPG game.
Yeah.
Which I really like. I think that's part of the charm of this is that it's like if you fuck around, you'll find out in this game. It's not handholdy. It is not easy, but it is really, really fun.
Okay. Yeah. So, I guess that we kind of covered that. Hype levels going into launch. We kind of covered that too. Like, I mean, as Chris and I, it's like we kind of
didn't even think about it.
Didn't even think about it. But then I was like, oh, we have the game. I
put it out of my brain after playing it in early access, and then when they had that showcase with Halsin and the bear, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is coming out this year. and then it went like through the roof, and then I was like, oh shit, that's finally happening.
Okay, so for the hype levels for me, like I played it like years ago, and I was like, okay, well, I'm kind of done with this for now. My PC. Oh, girl, it's okay. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. But like I kept it like it was on my radar the entire time, so it was kind of like cool to see like the updates continuously coming out. Mm-hmm. And then like when they finally announced it, like, oh, it's coming out on this date, I was like, oh, bet I'm gonna jump back into it and play it with some peeps, and that's it. That's all I've been doing, honestly. So it was like a moderate excitement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's jumping into our impressions. Like, we've all put a ton of time into this game. Like, it came out less than a week ago. We're recording on the 9th, and like, I had some stuff going on Saturday, but I played Sunday, and it was just one of those things where 4 hours went by just like that. And then same thing Monday night, 4 hours just went by just like that. And last night I was playing. I legitimately had to stop myself after a combat encounter because it was like 9:30. I'm like, I know if I keep going, I'm going to be up to like midnight.
So that release night hit, which I was in the lucky / unlucky position of not working the next Friday. I had a couple of people were like, look, you get to play all day. I was like, I'm not getting paid. So like, take that as you will. But that release night hit and I played that until like 5 a.m. And I posted on Threads, and I was like, yo, this got the all-nighter badge from me. Like, this is a good game, right? And then I reposted that on Threads that Saturday, I was like, I did it twice in a row. This game's really fucking good.
God, dude.
I put like 15 hours into the game in the first like 2 days it came out.
I mean, that's gonna be me most likely this Friday and Saturday. I legitimately have nothing planned, so that is my time is just to put in as much time as I can into this game.
So I wanted to ask you guys while we're just kind of talking about this, like how many characters / campaigns are you guys playing at the moment? Do you just have the one? Are you bouncing between?
Just the one.
Al's got the one.
Well, I should say one, but shortly before this recording, I did get a text of like gauging interest on another one. So
I think I was part of the. I think I know what you're talking about, and I might be a part of that too. Let's go.
So currently 4, gonna move up to 5, hopefully this Friday.
Nice.
And I'm just saying, if you guys,
I'm also a part of that.
Want to make it 6?
I mean, I'm down. I'm super down.
Exactly.
Like, dude,
I mean, one for every class. Come on.
You're not wrong. Look, I have an addiction to spellcasting, like very much.
It
like,
feels real good in this game. Spellcasting in 5th edition is
like sorcerers.
Great.
Oh, honey, oh my god, fuck.
So I'm playing 3 at the moment. I've got 2 solo, and I actually have one co-op. I went 2 solo, 1 co-op.
So I guess Chris, why don't you start us off with your player characters? Like, give us class, race, I guess, of yours, and then in your solo one, I guess, to say your typical party makeup.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, so the 2 solo characters that I have, the one that I put the most time into is just a human warlock, right? Just a dude, just a guy,
just a dude,
a human. You could be anything, and you choose a human.
He was a fighter at first, and I respect him.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
He's a fighter at first, and I respect him after.
Wow, even more like just okay.
Shut the fuck up. Human fighters, fun. All right.
All right.
But in my co-op campaign that I'm playing with a buddy, we got Will, and I saw how rad warlocks are, and I went, shit, I'm gonna go play warlock, and now I Eldritch Blast everything that moves, and it's awesome. So I have that one, and then I also have one that I made just a couple days ago. And these are not all of the characters I made. I bounced around before kind of setting on these 2. I think I've played the opening like 10 hours of this game like 6 times. Like 6 times. I have a high elf monk who I just gave the way of the open palm to, and I chose high elf specifically because they start out with the fireball cantrip.
Okay.
The firebolt cantrip, because I wanted to play Ryu, but in Faerun, and so that's what I gave him way of the open palm. He's throwing fireballs around. He's Ryu. It's unarmored strikes all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then in my co-op one, I've got a drow rogue.
Okay.
Because because we were trying to make Han and Chewbacca was the goal, right? And so I was like, I've played a rogue swashbuckler in tabletop before, and I was like, that's perfect for Han. Swashbuckler not in the game, so I expect him to be an assassin. He was already a drow, and he made a big like half orc barbarian. And like super hairy, like he looks like Chewbacca. It's really funny.
That's cool.
Oh my god!
But I mean, the strat is like, because he's a barbarian, he aggroes everything, and so I just get constant sneak attacks on stuff. We demolish everything in sight, dude. It's so fun. Yeah, it's so fun. As far as typical party makeup, though, it's like I always keep Shadowheart around because I think you need a cleric. And I need somebody to heal, and I'm working on that, baby. My warlock, yeah.
Like,
anyway,
don't get me wrong. Like everyone, like in the game is like, okay, but Shadowheart though.
No, here's the thing.
Wood.
Wood. I feel like that image of that one dude like fighting everyone that's pulling him back, like wood. Although I say the same about Karlach. But I have Shadow in my main one with the Warlock. I have Shadowheart. I have Gale. I have Asterion, and then myself, and that's the party makeup. The other one I switched it up a little bit because I wanted to see how it branches off a little bit. So I've got Will. I still have Shadowheart, and I've got Karlach, and I think Gale for right now. But I'm gonna switch them out once we get somebody else. I also completely dropped Lae'zel in my second run. There's a point where she's in the cage, and I freed her, and she's like, "All right, join me or die," and I went, "All right, fuck you," and I put her in the ground. I'm like, "Don't talk to me like that, bro. Let's go." I still got her in my other one. I just wanted to see what would happen.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh no, you can kill her." Okay. She's dead.
Oh god.
What's
Yep. Reaper, how about you?
So currently in so I have one that is on the duo one, which is with my buddy. I am a Drow Doomstalker or Gloomstalker. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
and let me tell you, that subclass is so good because you get a free action right at the start of any what's it called, combat. Then you get like sneak. You get a lot. You do a lot of damage, dude. You do a lot of damage.
I watched a Dimension 20. I think it's a Crown of Candy, and one of them was that got that
Ali is the reason why I went Gloomstalker.
That is so broken. Oh my gosh,
it's insane. Let's see. Then another one with like 3 other people. I went Paladin / Sorcerer.
Okay.
Ooh.
I multi-classed. Also a Drow. You'll see a pattern. The one on
I'm sensing something here.
Hey, look.
I like what you like.
You're right though.
I play a human fighter. I got no room to judge, bro.
Oh god. I went a tiefling bard in another one, and in my solo one I wanted to see what it's like to be a Githyanki.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So Githyanki, what was it? Monk.
Cool.
Just to see what it's like, because I've never really played a monk either.
Monk's
so I
fun,
want to see what
dude.
that's like. I have Shadowheart because Bay. Who is it?
Smash.
Yep.
Yep.
One of my friends calls him Ryan. A Saren, I think.
The vampire.
Yeah, the vampire, and then Gel, because you need magic. You gotta
have magic. You gotta have somebody that's slinging spells.
Like you got heals, you got damage output, you got all that, because you kind of need to have it balanced. Because if you don't, well then, when somebody Crown of Madness is you, or like uses Mind Sliver or something, like you're just gonna fuck each other up, and it's not gonna be good because you can't save.
Yep.
Like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. At that point, it's like, all right, who's dying first?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in my one playthrough, I started off as a Dragonborn monk.
Ooh.
And so I chose a blue dragon because he got lightning breath.
Yeah.
And then I went for my subclass Way of the Four Elements. So I'm basically an avatar.
Hell yeah. I respect it.
I was going to essentially use the monk in this run through to kind of test my character for new rollers. Go and check that out. We got some cool. We created a character there and got a couple episodes.
Maybe we have our own D&D show now. What's up?
Exactly.
Same though. Actually, I'm part of something.
So, yeah, it's I've been really enjoying that class. As far as my typical party makeup, I've just until my last couple hour play session, I was running Lae'zel, Shadowheart, and Will.
Ooh,
okay,
that's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lae'zel and Shadowheart together is fun.
Oh yeah, and it was interesting. We're gonna have a little spoiler discussion towards the end of the podcast. But yeah, it was like I had a little interesting moment there.
Yeah.
After completing what I think is Act 1.
Sort of. I think I know what you're talking about, and like yes, but also no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird.
But
Okay.
I guess right now I mean for me I've played most of the game on the balanced difficulty, and I was just getting my face kicked in. So I think in maybe about 10 hours in or so, I step it down to story difficulty.
Okay.
And that's at least made it a bit more bearable because I was save scumming like hell. Because I was having so many people dying.
So I do want to point that in my 2 solo ones, I'm playing on the story difficulty, because even at story, this game will kick your teeth in.
Okay.
But then for co-op, I'm playing on I'm playing on balance, because that feels a bit easier, because I'm also playing with a friend who knows way more about D&D than I do.
Gotcha.
And so that's made it much more much easier. But this is not normally my kind of thing. So like I'm not touching that hardest difficulty at all. Like ever. Tactical or whatever it's called.
Chat tried to get me to play Tactician this morning.
Tactician, that's it. Yeah, no.
Like they tried. I was just like, okay, look, do you want me to play that, and then we're going to spend most of the time fighting, and then we're going to reset? It's going to be a reset and then another reset. It's like, you guys don't want to see that. You guys want actual content. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, let's have fun with it. But like on everything else, it's just balanced all the way through. Like story, I understand, but I want to like get my mind going, turn the gears, like just, okay, I got to do this. I got to be over here to cast like twin spell, like chromatic orb on 2 things. And it's fun. It's very, very fun.
So I don't think that like balanced is like too hard to play solo or whatever. For me though, it's like you do have to think a lot about the encounters that you're in. And while I'm playing like by myself, like especially for like a single player game, I'm like, I just kind of want to vibe a bit more. And so playing on story, it's like still got to think a bit. Like if you make dumb decisions, you will get punished for it. But it's not as bad as it is unbalanced. So it's like, not that I dislike that or anything. I just want something a little easier to kind of get through if I'm playing by myself. But co-op, though, we play unbalanced. And my buddy and I do have to coordinate a bit and figure things out there, because it's like you do have to put a lot of thought into the encounters, because otherwise you will take it straight to the face.
Oh yeah.
And the game does not pull any punches.
Like I said earlier, there's been so many times I use movement with my other characters to try and group up enemies, because I have shatter on Will, and there was one time I took out 5 enemies with 1 shatter.
So if you go druid, and on the Gith, on the Illithid, the mind flares, if you get those little orbs that like groups things together, like that little grenade that pulls everything, if you have that with a moonbeam, dude, everything just takes damage in there. Everything gets pulled in and just like on it. It's crazy. Like I don't play a druid, but
my favorite thing to do now is I've got the warlock, and there's an upgrade that you can give to Eldritch Blast that knocks people back like 5 to 8 meters when you hit them with it. I knock everyone off of ledges now. Like there's a bit where you can go underground and you can fight like this giant like mother spider. I knocked her off the thing in 1 shot. I was like, done. See you later. Bye bye.
Hell yeah.
Go away, giant teleporting spider, which is the worst thing in the world, by the way. Fuck you, Larian, for putting teleporting spiders into your game. That's horrible, and I hate that.
One of my favorite spells that I found for my player character is because it has the 4 elements. So like for one of the spells, it's a ice one, and I can't remember what it's called, but essentially you throw out a blast of ice, and then it deals cold damage, but then it also has a chance, if they fail a save, they'll knock them prone because it puts ice underneath them.
It's not Ray of Frost, is it?
No, it's
I didn't think so.
Something about blade.
Ice blade? Ice knife?
Something like that. Yeah,
ice knife, you'll throw it, you'll freeze the floor behind, like underneath them, they'll get knocked prone, or you could also do shatter damage to the people behind them with
basically,
it.
So it's like a damaging grease.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know it did that.
It's real cool. Like I use that all the time. But it uses, being a monk, you have to deal with key point management, and it uses 2.
My favorite thing to do.
A short rest, it's nothing.
No, yeah, like whatever. My favorite thing to do, since just about all of my main party have like spells and cantrips that I don't have to get near people, is I will find kind of like the the central way that enemies have to get to me, and I just put a cloud of daggers right there.
Oh,
So that way, if they want to run at me, they got to run through the cloud. It's awesome. It works every time.
So here's the thing: we've tried that, but then there you have bows, and it's just like, oh, okay.
They hit Gale, and they're like, oh, there goes his concentration.
Bullshit.
Yeah, concentration.
Usually, I have to make Gale go hide.
What is it? I think it's a Warcaster that gives you advantage on that.
Warcaster,
Warcaster gives you advantage in concentration, so it's like, shit, dude. It'd be nice.
Yeah, I actually gave my monk the feat Polearm Master because with the quarterstaff, I think it's called. So but what's funny is that because I'm level 4 now, my unarmed strike that actually has the potential to do more damage than that. So, but
it's crazy you can throw that out every turn.
I still get the reaction though when enemies pass me. So. Just deal a little 3 to 6 damage as they pass by.
Hell yeah, dude!
My favorite was finally unlocking the class 2 Hellish Rebuke. So the moment you strike me, bam, dead. Fuck you! Don't touch me.
I've got that on Will, and that's awesome.
I want to play Cleric at one point just to get Spirit Guardians because
dude,
it's so good. It's so good. 15 meters towards, oh my god, so much damage output.
What's funny is I have that honor, and then also I can't remember the name of it, the one where it creates 3 illusions of yourself.
Mirror image.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, mirror image. So I'll have her do the spirit and then mirror image. I'm like, you're gonna die and you're not touching her. It's awesome.
Hell yeah, dude.
I basically made her it's the D&D equivalent of playing a battle sage in Valorant.
It's so good. I don't know, this game just
there's so much player agency.
Yeah.
Right. Just in terms of the customization and stuff, you can create your own character. You can even play as one of the origin characters, the people that make up your party in the game, right? You can do both of those. And even when you do that, you can still customize the way they look, their class, their stats, all of that. It's all there and ready for you to be able to do that. I made a post on Twitter and Threads earlier today to where I was like, I finally understand how the people that were over the moon about The Witcher 3 feel, to where you have this insanely dense RPG made by a company that is incredibly pro-consumer, just in the way that they all the early access people got the free deluxe upgrades and stuff. They've all been really the company is known for just being really really awesome and very pro-consumer. Even with Divinity Original Sin 2, every time they made an upgraded version of the game, if you already had it, you got that upgrade for free. Which was it's crazy. And so you have all these things that I was like, yeah, that's how all of those nerds felt about The Witcher 3, except that this game is fun.
And I want to go off of that as well. Can we talk about how now you see companies constantly releasing broken games, not working whatsoever, just for this company, for these developers who put out a game that's $60, which is the price point now, and having it run well. It just there's little glitches here and there, but it's running so smooth. No DLC, no paywalls, no battle pass, no nothing. You pay what you get 100
hours worth of gameplay for one playthrough for $60.
And it's multiplayer too. Oh my god!
And the multiplayer works right out the gate.
Right? And it's going to be cross-save too when the PS5 version launches,
which is so great because I'm going to pick it up.
I don't know about cross-play, but
Brittany and I don't think it's cross-play. I think it's just cross-progression.
Yeah, just cross-save. Yeah,
but still,
which is great though because I'm picking it up on PlayStation when it comes out, so Brittany and I can play it, right? And it's I'll be able to carry a character over. We can start playing co-op there. It'll be awesome. It'll be great. I'm so stoked on it, man. What a game!
I guess speaking of PlayStation though, are you guys playing mouse and keyboard or controller? For me personally, I'm playing controller just because I was going to try and do mouse and keyboard, but then when they finally gave you control, I was starting hitting buttons and doing stuff, and it just wasn't doing what I was thinking it was going to do. So I just
So again, I've played Baldur's Gate 2. I played Neverwinter Nights. I understand mouse and keyboard controls, and I came into that expecting to play it that way. But when all of the like the pre-release stuff was coming out, I was watching like reviewers and stuff play it. I saw like button commands for controller, and a couple of reviewers I saw, it's like, yeah, it's actually got really good controller support. And I went, interesting.
I was so surprised.
I was like, how? And so I sat there. I was like, how is that possible? Like, I've played games like this. I was like, I've never once thought, man, I wish I could play this on controller. I started playing on a controller. Fucking rules. It's awesome on controller. They nailed it. I don't know how they did it. It's great. But just being able to use the stick to actually be able to like control your character to where it kind of feels like a third person adventure game. It's like it gives you a new perspective on like the way I play. So my buddy that I play co-op with is a real stickler for that sort of thing, and he was real mad that you can't ping anything on controller. So I play co-op on mouse and keyboard. But it's cool because I kind of get to experience these things differently because I play it differently. But the fact that they made a completely new UI for controllers specifically is wild. And it's like I understand they would have had to, but I mean, like even like the pause menus and that sort of thing, like everything is different depending on what you're playing.
It's so clean when you play with controller.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And the crazy thing about it too is like, because I play on mouse and keyboard, but last night I tried the controller just to try it. The mouse and keyboard, like, you know, you basically have like the point and click. That's what you do, you know. But whenever you switch to the controller, it's just like, oh wow, okay. The UI is clean. The camera changes position. Like it's right behind you sometimes, and you could like guide them by holding like X or A or whatever you use. It's like crazy.
You can still take the left step to get like the point to move, the click to move.
Yeah, that's so cool, dude. Like I don't know.
Genuinely, I think the only downside is you do kind of have to like spend some time figuring out like how to access like certain things.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that you can do in the game.
I learned this. If you press up on the D-pad, you can do access jump there, and then down is just hide.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
If you hold down, it hides your whole party.
Yep.
What?
It's so sick, right?
It's so cool.
It's so sick, right?
Accident. I was just pressing buttons trying to find something else, and
Well, that was one of those things where I saw that Z was already the shortcut for jump on keyboard, and so I was like, I wonder if there's a jump shortcut on controller because it's something that you use a lot while running around.
Hold on, can you hold C down to hide your entire party on keyboard?
I have no idea. I haven't tried that.
I need to try that.
Because like
I switch between every single one and put them to crouch, and then come on.
There might be a way to auto hide like everybody.
God damn it!
I mean,
which would have been great in the Goblin camp if I'd known that already.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I guess before we get into some spoiler talk, just to talk, some of the things that we've been seeing in the game. Has anybody played this on Steam Deck? Because I did see it actually got verified. So
no shot. I have the smallest version, like hard drive of the Steam Deck. This is a 150 gig game. No shot that's fitting on the hard drive of my deck. I've heard that trying to read the game because it's so intensive, like for the Steam Deck, that trying to read it off the SD card is a rough time. So I was like,
gotcha.
I was like, I'm settling with just never playing it on deck. I'm just not going to touch it. I like having it here, especially. But I mean, it's like for me though too, like this is where I want to be when I'm playing it. I like being here,
just immersed in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I as much as I would love to be able to do it here, I don't think that's going to happen. For me personally, I have heard it does run really well on the deck though. Like
I've personally,
for those who have money, who got the big version.
Yeah, it would be nice to give it a try on the Steam Deck, but yeah, like you're saying, it's just nice having that experience. I would love it to be able to play on my TV, so I've actually thought about kind of rolling my PC over there and hooking up to the TV.
Don't tempt me, Alec. Don't tempt me. I will.
So because I'm a big Valorant player and part of like the music video they did for Valorant Champions that's happening right now, the big like Worlds tournament, they made like an animated music video. It follows like the story of this one dude who starts playing and rises through the ranks or whatever. But at the beginning of it, it's like him and his friends all having like a LAN party playing Valorant, like in his garage. And I've sat there, I was like, man, I've wanted to have like a PC LAN for such a long time. And I was like, this would be so cool. Get 4 people, everyone like sets up in a room, put your setup together. everyone started like I know there's online. I don't give a shit. It's different when you're in the room together. Like I really want to do that. I think that'd be so much fun.
At that point, you're essentially just playing D&D, like
but better because it's a video game.
Yeah, honestly.
Because like before we get into the spoiler stuff, and I'd said it earlier, like when I played where it's like the traditional like tabletop D&D, I just don't think is really for me. Like I played it a few times. It's just I kind of realized that I was like the moment to moment gameplay of traditional D&D not really for me. This though is almost got me sitting here being like, kind of want to try it again. I think this is like Baldur's Gate 3 has been my absolute favorite way to interact with the Dungeons and Dragons IP. I think
the narrator goes a long way in this game.
It's the game's the DM. It's so cool.
So it's not even like just a narration either. It's also the fact that you have like a visual representation of it, because like you could like imagine a bunch of stuff, but it's hard to imagine an entire world. Like you walk into a room, okay, describe everything there. Right. Okay, you're out in the wilderness. It's like, okay, you hear something in the bushes. It's like, where? So it's hard. I get it.
It also helps that the game is gorgeous. It's so good looking. Have you made it to the Underdark yet? Because oh my god.
No, I'm on my way there.
Beautiful.
I don't want to say anything about the Underdark because spoilers, maybe.
Spoilers a little bit. I also spent some time last night, like digging into my digital deluxe stuff that came with it, and there is an art book there. So I've seen like a bunch of like the characters and locations that show up later in the game too, and it's just the art style in this game is rad.
I've been playing this on my 1080p like high refresh rate monitor, but honestly, you don't really need the high refresh rate for this game. So I'm thinking the next time I play, I'm just going to move it to my 4K monitor, so that way I can just like sit back and.
I do have it on my 60 hertz one as well, and my computer's not powerful enough to get that kind of frame rate out of it anyway. So I'm like, why do I bother?
I have my set to like a 60. Even so, here's the thing: this monitor is like 280 hertz, and it's just like I wish I could do that, but I can't because.
I have the 120, but I've got it sub 60 because my
PC would explode.
Strong enough. Yeah, I run everything on medium, but even then, like everything's gorgeous. Like it's really nice.
Because I don't have the latest and greatest stuff. I've got a RTX or 2070 Super, and then Ryzen 3700X. So it's like not even the latest and greatest stuff, but it did the auto detect for the graphics, and it's like ultra high, very high. It's like okay.
Here's the thing. I'm playing on. I have a 1660 Super. I have a 1660 Super, and also put me at that. But I can't have Twitch open. I can't have nothing open.
I also have the 1660 Super, and like it's if I'm playing Baldur's Gate, nothing else is running on my computer.
Like I've tried it, just like okay, so that just froze. Okay, let's not. Oh, that froze. Okay,
I've only had this one running. So
it's rough, but God, dude,
this game, like honestly, I was just talking to Bo before this, and it's like, obviously Zelda game of the year for me so far, but this is honestly in the running for that number 2 spot.
I get it though. I get it. Like genuinely, it's so good, man, and so much content. Like I meant to say this earlier. But literally for the past 3 or 4 days, I get home from work, eat lunch with Rose, my partner, immediately jump on here, and I jump into Baldur's Gate for like 3-4 hours and not even notice time until she gets out. She's like, oh, I don't, but babe, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I want to keep playing.
Yeah, no, one of those things to where it's like I can't remember the last time that I would sit down to play a game, and then I look up and like it's been like 6 hours. Like, oh shit, it's 4 a.m. Like, oh no, like oh my god,
just get so into it, man. Like,
it's so easy.
Like, and that's that. I feel like that says a lot about the game too, because like you actually get immersed into it. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's for me, it's hard to do that. So the fact that this game does that is like, it might be game of the year.
Yeah, and it's one of those things to where it's like it's something that I think we've said on a lot of our podcasts to where it's like it's already been a year of bangers. Like some of the greatest games to ever come out in their genres have released, right? I mean, Tears of the Kingdom obviously came out. You had Street Fighter 6, the Resident Evil 4 remake, Jedi Survivor. You got Spider-Man 2 on the way. You got Armored Core 6 coming. Like this game is
Wake 2.
This year is ridiculous.
Okay, this is just for me, but like I know it's not going to be Game of the Year edition, but like or Game of the Year. Super Mario RPG,
absolutely.
I need it. I already pre-ordered that shit.
And even Mario Wonder looks amazing. Yeah, like I think Wonder looks incredible, and so like to kind of sit down and look at like a genre defining game like Tears of the Kingdom and be like, sorry, you ain't Game of the Year this year for me. Right? Like, it's wild because Baldur's Gate and Street Fighter came out and completely like decimated every expectation that I had of both of them. Like to the point where I don't think anything will be Street Fighter for me personally, but like Baldur's Gate has it was something that was kind of, and maybe I'm so impressed because it was kind of off my radar for such a long time. But
like it also like from experience, like we tried that at the very beginning, seeing that to now. Like, oh wow, okay. Like
I was nervous going into it too, to where it was like, man, I really hope that it runs. And then I played this first like 2 hours. I was like, it's perfect. Oh my God. It's amazing.
Well, if you think about it, you have 3 years of early access. I would kind of hope you had the time to
exactly. But like there's plenty of other companies that do that and still nothing ever happens with it. So
it's a testament to one, like how good Larian are at making games like this, right? Like, I mean, it's just because if you like this game, you would like Divinity Original Sin 2 as well. I highly recommend it. It's not D&D. It's very set up to be close to it.
It's very much Pathfinder.
Is it actually Pathfinder? I was always curious.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. It's really good. And then also, I'm still recording. Brittany's looking at me like, no, camera's on. Yeah. But
you're good.
What was I talking about?
Pathfinder, Divinity.
Oh yeah, so I mean, it really speaks to like how good they are at this, but also it's like I'm really worried that people are going to look at this and be like, okay, this is the new expectation for things. Like you're not getting another game like this for at least 10 years. Like no shot. Like do not expect another game like this.
This should be like the industry standard. Like this is what it needs to be. Nothing broken, nothing like, we'll patch it over time. Like, no, this is what it needs to be. Like, if you guys have the money, go get it. And if your friends want it, buy it for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Support the hell out of this so that way they can make more of it, right? Because I think this game is really, really special for what it is. You will not see another game like this for a really, really long time because games of this scope that play this well do not come out very often. Like they don't. So if like the next Elder Scrolls comes out or even like Starfield or something to be like, it's not as feature complete as Baldur's Gate 3. I was like, don't expect it to be. Well, this is an extremely outlying game in so many ways.
They did the perfect thing and jumped ahead of Starfield.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And to the point where I'm going into Starfield and I kind of don't give a shit about it again. like the direct got me really hyped for it, and then I started playing this, and I'm like, it's not gonna be better than this.
So here's the thing, also, like how do I put this? Shit.
I prefer turn-based for my RPGs though too, to where it's the third-person action thing, like Cyberpunk and Elder Scrolls and stuff. I enjoy that sort of thing, but I don't like it as much as turn-based.
Like, no, never mind.
I gotta close my.
I thought you were gonna get spicy there for a second.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's the fact that so I don't know if this is true or not, but like I saw like an article or something that other devs were scared of this game coming out, of how well it was going to be well received and how well it was going to be at launch.
Oh yeah.
Like y'all should be afraid.
Oh yeah,
Be
because
afraid.
I mean, it's like I was saying, like the dev team has the legacy of huge, gigantic, dense, feature complete games like this coming out, like, and again already in like a stacked year too, especially with a name that has a legacy like Baldur's Gate. Like that's very much something for other companies to be like, fuck, our game comes out near Baldur's Gate.
Well, that's actually that what's it, that Stray Gods, that musical RPG game, that pushed a week because it basically
they were like, no way.
Well, because originally when Baldur's Gate pushed it up a month, that's when that game said, "Oh, we're launching on like the same day or within a day of each other. We're pushing out a week."
Yeah, I understand though.
Like, so, it's like I get it, and it's like I do feel bad for like other devs that are like, fuck, we got to release an RPG next to Baldur's Gate, right? But like, this is very much like a once in a generation kind of game, right? Like, I don't think you'll see another game like Baldur's Gate for at least 7 to 10 years,
probably.
The way Nintendo, like, took the year and Tears of the Kingdom just to squash bugs and do that. It's like they did that with, I mean, not quite that, but they used those 3 years of early access in this game to make sure that the full launch was going to be perfect.
Yeah. Except Larian took 3.
Basically, so there's a game that I backed on Kickstarter that's called Crowsworn. It's kind of like Hollow Knight a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like they were trying to release it in 2023, like towards the end of this year. But they just want to refine everything, like make everything perfect. It's like, I know a lot of people will bitch about like what's it called? Like game development. It's like, oh, well, they just do it. Like they'll cut corners. Like, no, like if they love the project. Yeah, exactly. It's like people, they're not crunching. They're not nothing. Like have that like balance and just make it work. Make it smooth and as polished as possible. Because please,
you only get one first impression.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so I just think I don't know if us just sitting here gushing about it for 20 minutes has keyed any of you into this, but this is a really good fucking game. It really is. Really good game, and if you've kind of like sat on the fence, be like, I want to know what this D&D thing is all about. This is a fantastic way, I think, to get into it first, because it will essentially teach you how to play tabletop Dungeons & Dragons along this. All of the same mechanics are used here, except you click them instead of telling the DM, I want to do this. Like it's all 1-to-1, right?
And you don't have to flip through character sheets. You don't need to flip through D&D Beyond. That's
one of the things I love. It does it all for me. I don't have to do math.
You don't need to mark things off. You don't need to actually roll dice. It's right there.
I click the button. It's right.
I click and roll. Deck.
Shout out to them for also having like the on-screen like D20 though, and like I love all of that. Anytime that I get to
showing all your bonuses.
Yeah, and then like casting guidance on it and all that.
For me, God, I don't have to look through my character sheet 12 times to figure out what all kind of bonuses It's perfect. Yeah. So like if you've ever been on the fence about D&D, like wondering what it's all about, this is a great way to get into it. But also, if you are a D&D player who's looking for a good video game, this is video game D&D. Like you got no reason not to play this one.
And the price point is worth it. Like wholeheartedly worth it.
Yep.
Absolutely. Get the digital deluxe edition too, so you get the Bard songs. You get the digital deluxe has a whole pack of additional songs for your Bard. It's great. It's very good. Highly recommend.
Yeah. So before we're I guess right now this will be the clear spoiler warning. Like we're gonna just not quite go like full on like story spoilers, but
Al and I haven't finished Act 1, so
yes, I don't think I have either. I've been doing a lot of stuff.
So okay, it starts right now. Act 2 starts when you get to the Moonrise Towers. That's Act 2.
Okay.
But yeah,
I think
full spoiler warning. If you haven't played the game, don't want story spoilers, we'll see you later. Check out New Rollers, because if you like this podcast, you probably like D&D, you'll like that show.
And make sure to subscribe, okay? Just make sure. Just do it. Just make that red bar
fucking great. Eldritch blast that subscribe button.
Roll it with advantage.
Exactly. Yes.
That's hitting the bell. That's rolling with advantage.
Oh gosh.
That's it. You hit the bell, it gives you bardic inspiration.
I'll hit it on and off continuously.
I'm gonna go fucking kill myself now. I can't believe the level of nerd that I've become.
You become one of us. Join us. Join us, Rumble.
Kind of I guess one of the first things, there's that like
I
weird
say that I've got my
brain.
barbarian sticker on my.
Nice. There's that like, and when you're still in the drop ship, you can. I didn't notice this or know this until I was watching Kind of Funny's playthrough, but I guess you can get the help of that weird brain thing.
Yeah. I've done that multiple times. Remember, I played this intro so many goddamn times.
I think that high elf monk that I made was like my 8th one.
God, so many times.
So what do you mean get the help of? What do you mean?
So go ahead.
That little brain that's like help, like
shrill
voice.
Yeah.
So the first time I played it, I failed the roll to kill it, and then all of the other brains on the ship will attack you at that point.
Yeah.
Every other time I've just killed it and they ignored me because they didn't know that enemy. You can get help from it.
Yeah.
In what kind of way?
Go ahead, Alec. Tell him.
Tell me. I'm not playing it again. Tell me.
Oh, you didn't know that? No. You didn't see that? Okay.
No, because I literally just heard him say it because one of the other guys killed it before they could get its help.
Okay, so the thing that you do is you take the elevator up there, you like talk to the brain essentially, still in the skull, and you could roll to see. It's like, oh, what's this? Why is it talking to me? Okay, so you talk to it. And it's like, help us, right? And you could either smash the skull, you could use dexterity to get it out of there, and then whenever you get it out, you could either injure it, that way it's subservient to you, or just let it be, and then what's it called?
Walks off.
Yeah, essentially. So it's like, it's up to you, really. So you could get its help, and then like pushing a little bit further past that when you get Lysel and all that stuff, and then you're trying to escape. Okay, how did y'all save Shadowheart?
I got the rune key.
Okay,
and I put it in
so
the
for
machine.
me, this is one of those parts where I saved, because this was one of those where it's like, hey, just don't roll a 1.
Oh, buddy.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, buddy. No.
So it would not let me do it. I'm like, you know what? No.
Can you get soft locked out of?
Yeah. Basically, if you roll a 1 there, when you only need a 2, and I didn't have any bonus, and so I literally had to reload my save because I'm like, I'm not losing a cleric.
Wow,
there's a thing that I have to tell y'all about, like a certain character, like that you get later on. This morning when I was playing as a barb, apparently you don't have to get the rune, you can just pry it open.
Huh.
I've just gotten the rune every time because I knew where it was, because I remembered it from the early access.
Metagaming.
That's wild. That's wild. I'm so mad that I didn't just rip the pot open as my barbarian. That's really funny.
I was just like, oh,
that's really fucking funny.
It's like, you could try to pry it off. It's like, okay, sure.
It
doesn't look like it's coming off. Yeah. It's like, all right, you don't give up. It's like, huh? All right, roll for it. I'm like, huh?
I did have a crit failure though when I tried to pull Gale out of the rock. It just eats him.
I haven't met him.
It just eats him. He's gone. You just don't get a wizard on your team unless you respect somebody.
I mean, I haven't met Gale yet, so I don't know if I just missed him or.
Yeah, you missed him. He's right after you get off the ship.
Okay, because I also missed what's his name, the elf rogue S.
Oh yeah,
Asterion, whatever.
Both of those characters are like just on like the north side of the ship.
Yeah, like one's here, and then on the other side is on the other, like right there.
No, good to know.
Gale is like, if you just go forward from where you crash, like you'll find him. If you're already like on your way to the Underdark, you've missed them. They're gone. Well, I think you can go back. You should be able to quick travel back there.
Because that's what I did. That's what I did with Asterion, because I was just like, oh, let me, because I cleared out the goblin camp and got Helson and like the not the druids, the tieflings back to my camp.
Yeah.
And before I went and like celebrate it, I'm like, let's go and explore the map at this starting area a bit. And that's when I found Asterion when I went back. So I'm like, my characters are already level 4, and I've finally just got Asterion on my party.
Oh yeah. So like really, really close to where you get Asterion. Just kind of explore that area a bit more. Because you'll find like one of the he's basically like magically trapped inside like one of the quick travel points, and so you got to go like yank him out.
Am I the bad guy?
What'd you
I
do?
feel like I'm the bad guy.
What did you do?
No. Okay,
What
so
did you leave him?
No, so I've gotten everyone so far, but I'm talking about the Grove.
Okay. Let's talk about the Grove. Before you get there, let's talk about the Grove. So, because I want to tell you my story with the Grove. So the first time I played the Grove stuff was I was playing the co-op campaign with my buddy.
Okay.
And so like we went in there and like Kaga's like being like a bitch to the child, and we get to leave her alone. And then we talk to Zevlor, and he basically is like, hey, you could just fucking kill her if you want. And we were like, all right, bet. So we walked in there and we just attacked her. We didn't say anything to her. We just attacked her and went, all right, let's go. So that way I could get my so I could proc my sneak attack, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so that, of course, causes everyone in that room to also turn on you.
Yeah.
And then we walked outside, and like half of the tieflings were dead, and like they were all the druids were like in bear form fighting all the tieflings. We were like, what happened?
Yeah.
It wasn't until later that I found out about the thing where you can go to the tree and find like the dark druids that are controlling her and confront her, and then she backs off, and then you can do the whole thing with Minthara to where you can like at the goblin camp, right? You can find the drow Minthara. She'll be like, hey, I'm looking for this druid grove. I'll be like, I know where that is. I'll show you where. Come attack. And then when I get there, I tell Zevlor, I'm like, hey, they're coming. And then when Minthara's like, all right, open the gate, and I go, fuck you, Minthara, and then we fight each other. It's really good. It's really great. There's so many ways that whole thing can play out.
So
it's wild.
Okay. All right.
Wild.
Alec, what's your experience?
So I would say mine's probably the more vanilla experience. Like I went to the Grove and went through the whole thing and went to go back and talk to Tevlor, and he's like, oh, we could go attack her. I'm like, well, I already know that there's a druid in the goblin camp that they want back, and they're like, hey, if he comes back, like he can talk to her and like kind of like talk her down of doing this sealing off the Grove.
Oh shit.
So I'm like, I'm going to go get him. And so I went, and that's during the goblin camp is where I actually lower the difficulty, because I was
going to say, you went into the goblin camp without Gale. Like, that's tough, dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's tough.
Yeah. So the first time I went into the goblin camp, I was able to get the priestess over to her room, kind of secluded there, and I was able to basically defeat her. But then I guess before, I didn't realize you could destroy the war drums. So they got reinforcements real quick, and that's when I had my first game over.
Yeah.
And so my second go around, I was able to kind of sneak around because I didn't draw any aggro yet. So I got all the way to where they were keeping the druid in the prison, and basically had that whole fight back there. And then he's like, hey, originally I was going to have him come with me to take out the 3 goblin leaders, but he's like, hey, having a bear with you is going to draw some unwanted attention, so I'm just going to chill here.
Yeah, so if you take Halsey with you, like everyone immediately starts attacking. What's cool is I did that quest line to take out the 3 of them, to where you can talk to the goblin priestess Gut, to where she'll recognize that you both have worms. And she'll take you like into her office to try and cure you, and then it turns out like afterwards she drugs you and you wake up in prison. So what I did was I loaded an old save. I had everyone go sit in her, like and hide in her office, and then we walked in, and she's like, all right, time to start now. And actually no, and we jumped her and killed her before she could call reinforcements. And then if you kill the mind flayer that's alive in this
real quick,
he'll also kill. You can convince the second one, the hobgoblin, to essentially just fucking leave.
Oh jeez!
And so I just got him to leave, and then I did the whole thing with Minthara, to where I brought her out to the druid camp.
I fought every single one of them.
I only fought the priestess and Minthara.
Yeah, like I basically once I realized you could destroy the drums, that was my top priority every time, is getting somebody before I've gotten to combat, destroy the drums so that way they couldn't call reinforcements. Because that first time around, it wasn't actually the priestess that called reinforcements, it was somebody like outside in the room, because that room's not actually enclosed.
No, it's good. It's
there's like one side of it. Everybody somebody must have saw me attack or whatever and got alerted, and that's when they called reinforcements. And
now
there's a lot of goblins in that camp.
Did you fight your way into the camp as well?
No.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say, because I talked my way in both times, so I could freely run around.
Yeah, yep.
Because I was about to say, because if you didn't pass that, it would be an even harder time, because you have to essentially fight everybody the moment you walk in.
But that's one thing I do like about rolling a monk, is that I am somewhat able to talk my way through things at some points, but then I'm also like, hey, if things come push to shove, I'll shove you right back.
Yeah, I made my warlock very charismatic. I avoid combat when I can.
Okay, so
Reaper.
Let me get comfortable.
Yep.
Okay, so you know that idol that they're praying around?
You stole it.
We stole it. We we killed everyone. Karga straight. The main druid basically rounded up all the tieflings into a room, and she started killing all of them. I killed her. There was like 3 tieflings left out of like the entire village, and the only reason why I took the idol was because because you know the harpies.
Yeah.
So I saved that kid because the kid didn't die, and then he's like, "Hey, go talk to this person in this like little hidden area." Okay, cool. Go talk to the kid. It's like, hey, if you can get this for us, the idol, we're gonna go to Baldur's Gate. We're gonna start our own little thieves guild and this and that. It's like, okay, cool. I do that. Everyone's dead. I give the kid some money. I give him the idol. It's like, all right, go to Baldur's Gate. It's fine. It's cool. And then I go to the goblin camp. It's like, I'm a drow, so I can just kind of walk around, do whatever.
Yeah. They kind of just let you in.
So, I think my group's a bunch of murder hobos. So, we kind of fought everything, and then instead of like going out the gate, to fight the big ass ogre and all the goblins out there, we found a way to get into the Underdark. We went there, and then we stopped there, right? So we've done all that stuff, and then on the recent playthrough that I'm playing with, like just another buddy of mine, we found a different way to get there.
There are multiple ways into the Underdark.
Yeah. I've killed Granny or Auntie Ethel.
I still haven't finished that one yet. I need to go back and do that.
Just killed a lot of things, man. A lot of things.
Because I got to the point with Auntie Ethel where the first time I saw her, like the 2 guys are like confronting her for essentially like kidnapping their sister.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was a hag at first, so I fucking murdered the shit out of them. And then I go back and she turns into a hag. I went, oh no. And so like, but I got to the point like in her house where there's like poison clouds everywhere. I have no idea how to get past those.
Okay. So those 2 guys, for me, I essentially told her, hey, you go fuck off. She did. It's like, we still need to go kill her. We don't know you. It's like, all right, go kill her.
Yeah, have fun.
They didn't even make it past that little area that they were in because there was traps apparently. So they just died there in the water. It's just like, guys.
So the first time we did it too was in my co-op session to where we saw Auntie Ethel. I knew not to kill the guys this time. I did not know she was a hag yet though. Like I had ended. I went to go join my friend, and so like we went there and I was like, well, let's play this differently than I just did. And so I told the woman, fuck off, and she does. And so we go down into the what we didn't know it was a swamp yet, but we go down into the swamp area, and my buddy, the barbarian, is just kind of fucking around, and he decides to shove one of the sheeps that he sees there. Entire area transforms into a dark, gloomy swamp, and all the sheep are actually red caps, and they fucking murdered us. So, we were like, "What the fuck?"
I mean, kind of not quite that crazy, but when I was still in the Grove, or like the Hollow area before the Grove, this is before I had Will in the party, and I'm just walking by, and all of a sudden I just had one of those like perception checks, and the narrator's just like, that ox seems really strange. That's all it says. Like, so then I got Will in the party and I leveled him up, and actually I leveled him up and I was able to give him the ability to give speak with animals.
Yeah.
And so I basically switched to him, use that spell, and talk to the two ox there. One of them didn't really say anything, but the other one was just like, he was like this like very British person, very British accent, and you talk to him, and there's something. It even says in the subtitle, "Strange Ox," and I put a clip in the Discord just because it's so just hilarious. And eventually he's talked, and he just like doesn't want to talk to you anymore. So he's just like moo.
he just says the word moo.
And you go back to talk to him later, and he doesn't say anything. He just says moo. Like, it's the animal saying moo, but it's a person saying moo. Like,
so did you guys do the squirrel thing? The clip that's been going around. So it's in the Grove. It's in the Grove, and there's a point where a squirrel just walks up to you, and this was my experience. Having done this before, I saw like the one clip that's been going around.
Mm-hmm.
So I was playing a warlock. I had like very low speak with animals, and so I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try it." And so I leaned down, so I can click on the squirrel. It starts a conversation. I talk to it. I'm like, "Hey," I essentially try to be like, "Hey, what's up?" And he just comes and bites my ankle.
Oh, jeez.
And so I'm like, "Fuck you, squirrel!" And so I choose the option to kick it.
Mm-hmm. And then you see the blood splatter.
You kick it so hard that it dies.
It hits a tree, and you know the amount of blood that comes out of that thing.
And then my god! And then the narrator is like, "You claim victory over the squirrel, even though you're not quite sure what you were fighting about." I was like, "You fucking beat me! What do you mean?" But it's so like hilariously violent. Like, the game manages to capture like the actual feeling of sitting down and fucking around with your friends like, at a D&D table. Like, it's great.
In the Blighted, this is the last thing I'll say before we kind of give our final things, but I was in the Blighted Village, and there's like kind of like this like almost like barn garage kind of towards the back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I just happened to open it, and it's like, oh, there's a ogre.
That's an ogre.
I get no smash, so I smash you.
Yeah.
So question: Did both of you fight them?
Yes.
So, I did too. Well, no. So I did. I fought them in my solo one. I ignored them in the monk one because I was like, no, not dealing with it again. In my co-op one though, it was my buddy who opened the door, and so as a barbarian, he got like a barbarian option to be like, hey, what are you doing in here? And he just yells at them, and he was like, wow, you guys are really bad at this, and you just shame them into leaving. Like they just walk off. Like you could just be like, what are you doing in here? Like laughing at your pathetic attempts to do whatever it is you're doing. And they're like, you know what? Screw you. And they leave. Jeez, like the ogre's like, you killed the mood. Like, fuck you. And they just walk out. Like, it's so good. It's so good.
If you kill the bugbear first, then like the ogre like almost goes into a rage herself and like yells his name and
oh no.
Yeah.
Like, my character does that anytime Shadowheart goes down now. Because we're a little in Smash Town, if you know.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm working on it.
After basically the celebration. This is, I guess, something I was mentioning earlier in the podcast that I was a little shocked because like I knew there was like romancing in this game, but it was like after you get to the celebration, Right, but like after you get to the celebration, it was just like I talked to Shadowheart. She's like, "Oh, hey, after everybody settles down, how about you come have a bottle of wine with me?" It's like, "Oh, sure, yeah." Then I go over and talk to Lizelle, and she's like, "What's this I hear about you and Shadowheart?"
Whoa! What?
It's like I'm like, "What? What?"
Mind your own business, frog lady.
She was like,
Get out my go away.
But she was like, "I want to be with somebody tonight." I'm like, "Wait, whoa! I haven't talked to you like that. Where is this coming from?"
Oh, dude, Lizelle horny.
They talk, dude. They talk.
Lizelle
Everyone
horny.
talks.
Asterion also keeps like throwing himself at me. I have to be like, back up, dude. Like we ain't got it like that, bro.
I had that.
We ain't got it like that, buddy.
He's a vampire. I did not know he was a vampire before.
So the first time too, there's one point where he asks, "Is like, can I just get a little blood?" And I let him do it, and it actually gives him like a stat buff. Yeah. But then I also found out you can proc that stat buff like anytime that you use like his vampiric whatever like in combat too. You can get that stat buff back, and I was like, "Cool, you're not touching me again." And since I told him, I was like, "Hey," and so I told him I was like, "Hey, never again." Now he's like, "Fine," and now he just fucking won't talk to me. Like he's so pissy about it.
So like how he is with that, Gel being like, "I need magic items, please, please, I need it." It's just like, Gel, I have one magic item, and this is helping me like survive. No, he's like, "All right, fuck you, I'm leaving." It's like, all right, bye, dude. I don't know. I'm a sorcerer. I don't need you.
It's like I got this covered.
So that's why Will's better. He's just a bro.
Will is rad. That said, if you want a really interesting playthrough, do it again. Get Will and Karlach into the same party. Very cool.
That's
very
actually
fun.
I'm on my way to go.
Okay, so then I won't spoil this for you then. Okay, never mind. Because like something happened in this before I came on here. Something happened. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Karlach's also another character that will absolutely throw herself at you, though.
Yeah.
One of my friends is like, "Please step on me, please."
I'm ready.
And he's also playing a dwarf, so it's like, okay.
Better.
All right, other guys have any final things some spoilery things you want to talk about?
Game's real fucking good.
Spoily things. I went to the Underdark and I got on a boat, and I'm gonna say this: when you get on a boat, be careful because it's things are rough. You're on a boat, you could get shoved. Just be.
Oh no!
We had to reload not once but twice.
Oh no!
Yeah. So be ready. Be ready, because like, oh my god.
So my Eldritch Blast about to put in work is what you're telling me.
I'll say, if you go in to fight the goblin leaders, watch the drow one. She has a very powerful attack that knocked Will out. Just not even like to death saves, just killed him outright.
Oh yeah, she's really strong.
No, it was not fun because I didn't have, it wasn't letting me use my like scroll of revivify or whatever.
Oh yeah,
just gone. So that's why I'm like, okay, reload that save.
The Minthara thing too, which is the name of that drow, it's like you can fight her in the camp. If you go in there and you're not already in combat, you can essentially show her where the druid camp is, where the thing is, and then if you go back, she'll show up with her army after you take a long rest, and the tieflings will have like people up on the wall like ready for them, and she'll call out to you, be like, "Hey, just like we planned, open the gate," and you can be like, "No." And then you have this huge fight because I'm talking like 20 different characters or something.
That's sick.
So definitely give that a shot. But also, if you go the other way around it, you show her where the druids are, and you fight, and you do open the gate for her. Minthara can join your party.
What?
Yeah.
What? Oh, that's sick. Some hidden party.
Yeah.
Okay, I dig it.
Minthara can join your party, and she's romanceable.
I'm already a drow. I don't.
That was how I found out. I saw somebody talking about it on Reddit, and I went, "What the? Wait, who?" And then I saw her show up in my game, and I went, "Her?" and so yeah, I went and looked up. I was like, "How do you get Minthara in your party?" And so yeah, it's like if you show her where the camp is, and then you essentially you have to betray the tieflings to do this, mind you. Like the tieflings will hate you if you do this. But I mean, yeah, you can have it because you're helping the goblins like destroy the camp,
right?
But like you can, she will join your party after that. I think that'd be fun if you do like a playthrough where you're constantly like using like the illithid powers and stuff. I think that'd be really fun, really cool, really in character. Which is also really cool, by the way. Like this idea that you have like this mind flayer worm in your brain that's not normal. That there's something going on with it, like somebody's controlling it or something, which I think is really fascinating. Yeah,
dude, that's sick. And then like whenever you go to sleep, and then that happens.
Fascinating. The Guardian is so cool, by the way. I love that you get to design them.
I wish I would have put more time into it rather than just clicking random a bunch of times.
Dude, I hit random until I found something that I liked. I was like, "You look cool." Okay, you.
Random gave me one of the coolest like half elves I've ever seen. And I went, "Yep, that's the one. That's it."
It's sick.
Just didn't touch anything else.
What was I gonna say? Shit. Oh, so how far in the Underdark have y'all gone?
I'm not gotten there.
I just got there. That was like I got to the point and I was like, this is a stopping point.
Okay, so
because it was 4 a.m.
Do y'all mind a warning?
Yeah.
I do not mind.
Not at all. Go for it.
Okay, so if you guys see statues, be ready.
Oh, I know about the statues. Yeah.
Okay.
Just be ready. There's also a spear that you could get that will help you against that thing. Look for that too, because you do like an extra 2 to 12 damage just for using it on that thing.
Noted.
Oh, okay.
I did also want to ask, did you guys kill the demon on the illithid ship at the beginning to get the flaming sword?
Fuck yeah.
What?
So you know,
fire sword.
So you know, at the very beginning, there's the demon fighting a mind flayer when you got to go push the button to bring the ship down. You can kill that demon and you get his fire sword.
So you do like
it's hard. It's hard because you got to do it in like 10 turns, sure. and he has 2 more people come in. He's got like 90 something health when you're level 2.
Right.
It can be done.
156 health. I've memorized this number.
Oh my god! But you get a really good sword for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, like, if you're a paladin too with that sword, so it's like Divine Smite on top of like a D12, and like a D6 of damage too. Oh my god!
Jeez.
Yeah, we gave that to my barbarian buddy. So like every time he rages, I mean, you know, he's doing all this fire damage on top of like multiple attacks per turn. Like it's nasty.
Dude, I'm sitting on like 3 or 4 blue items and like 1 very rare.
I haven't found any very rare yet. I did get those gloves that let you like catch arrows when people. I think that one's really fun. And,
that's something that the monks get eventually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just get deflect missile. Boom, boom.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. And then I've got on my warlock because it's like charisma and stuff is so I've got the sleight of hand gloves. As well, so I can just lockpick fucking anything. It's great.
Astrion is just broken because like I had one of his like thieves tools and he has like a +4 to proficiency, a +4 to sleight of hand or whatever it was. Like I basically got like 2 or 3 +4s into whatever it was. So it's like you needed a 15. It's like I just needed a 3.
Oh yeah. Playing as a rogue too, I think is probably the most fun I've had with it so far. Out of like Kamehamehaing everything with Eldritch Blast, because after like I think it's level 3, you get the cunning action dash and cunning action hide, and so you can run like 20 meters hide and then do like 20 to 40 damage off of a sneak attack almost every fucking turn as long as you hide in the right spot. Like it's disgusting,
dude. So Gloomstalker mixed with Rogue.
That's got to be interesting.
It's because you stack your first attack, your sneak attack damage with your bow already, and then like it meshes so well together.
It's so good. Yep.
Also, I'm gonna send y'all a picture of my character in the duo run.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
That's very cool. I like that armor a lot. Yeah, I think just build crafting in this game I think is going to be like so much fun. It's like we talked about player agency earlier. Like I mean that in just about like every single aspect of the game, just in terms of like the character creation. I do kind of wish there were more options like physically, like for the face and stuff. Like
sliders and whatnot.
It's not PGA Tour bad, but it's not as expansive as I would hope it would be. And I made like a joke in my co-op one with my buddy because we were doing Han and Chewie, where I was like, hey, check this out. There's there's this one like tattoo that you can get like on the face that looks like if Post Malone were medieval. So it's a lot of like face tattoos. There's like a bow and a mace and like the tree and stuff. I was like, this is clearly supposed to be Post Malone. So I put that on my character. I was like, hi, isn't this funny? And I saw my buddy like actually like make Chewbacca as an orc. I was like, wait, that's really cool. I should actually make it look like Han. And I found out you can't change your character's look after creation, which is unfortunate.
Like I know you were able to get like a headpiece to change your appearance like in the game, like if you had the deluxe edition or whatever, like if you pre-ordered it. But it doesn't actually change anything from you. It's just like a disguised self.
Yeah, it gives you disguised self, which is cool. But like, man, I would just love the ability to somehow, even if you got to pay like money for it, or like gold or something for it, and able to do it like the same way that you can respec. I would love to be able to change the physical accent. But it's like outside of that though, like I mentioned play agency, it's just in the terms of like the way that you interact with all the characters. Like we talked about, like I think we discussed maybe 2 quests in the last like 20 minutes, and there's like 7 or 8 different ways that all of them can play out just by the way that you sit down and interact with all the characters there. And then also, I mean, there's so much freedom just in the way that you can build out like the class, the race, like the way that your character plays it's absurd. Like this game is dense and I love it.
I want to play more. God damn it.
I'm gonna play tonight, dude. I'm for sure gonna play later tonight, man.
If it wasn't so late, I would.
This game fucking rules.
But I guess So that's been our Baldur's Gate 3 impressions. Reaper, tell people where they can find you.
Find me on twitch.tv/Reapers Past every Wednesday and Thursday morning, and then on Dungeon Mechanics every other week for some D&D. I'm also giving away a copy next week on Thursday. So if y'all want to stop on by, I'm just saying.
Ooh.
Do it.
Yeah, hit those links. Those links will be in the description. And one last time, we're going to promo some new rollers because, coming up this fall sometime, we're going to be actually doing a campaign. So hit that hit that subscribe, hit that bell so you can see when that goes up.
I already got some cool like early session like character building and DM designing stuff out on that too. A little bit of like preview stuff ready for there. So if you want to see what new rollers is going to be, we've already got some stuff ready for it. It's really cool.
Yeah,
like Leon and the crew have made something really, really interesting.
A few episodes. So we have a character creation stream where we go through and kind of make kind of the first parts of our characters, and then the other 2 episodes are actually interviews with DMs on certain parts of the game. Like one of them is with Scott White, who's actually kind of created his own lore and world and all that. And I am blanking on what the first one. Oh, the first one was with a friend of Jordan and Learen's. And they basically goes through it's D&D 101. So anything you want to know about D&D, we go over the basics there.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing that they're doing to where it's not just going to be a playthrough of a D&D campaign. They've delved into a lot of the stuff around like creating a D&D campaign as well too. And so if you're interested in any of that at all, we've got it all right here, baby. Where else would you go?
And until next time, we'll see you in Faerun.
May all your rolls be crazy.